What's good, Life and Poetry fam? Welcome back to the channel with your boy. You guessed it, it's me, Marcus T, this guy, right? Um, so, right, I first let me start with this here. If you are new to this channel, guys, hit that subscribe button. Come on, join the family. You know you want to. Come on, doors are always open. Our arms are always open here in life. The team with Life and Poetry, guys. Like this video, subscribe, all those good things. Comment down below, guys. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be some good information for those of us who are writers. This one specifically poetry, because you know that's my field. That's what I love to do. I love to write poetry or whatever, right? But yeah, guys. I got a confession to make. Before I jump into this, let me say this here, right? So, what was it? Yesterday, I did something that was completely drastic, something that I really kind of beat myself up with about, right? It may seem, small or mediocre, whatever, to some people. But for me, it was like it hit me to the core, and I was surprised that I actually went through and did it, guys. Right? Man, I shaved my goatee down, guys. Oh my gosh. If you know me, you know it took me some time to grow it to the length it was at. But yesterday I was like, I'm in quarantine, it'll grow back. Let me see how long it's actually gonna take for it to grow back to where I want it to be, right? So I literally took the clippers and I shaved my, I cleaned my face up and I just took it, just chopped it right down. And as I was doing it, I was like, what was I thinking? I didn't say that. Some other words actually came out, but because I'm on here with you guys, I'm trying to be, saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled for a little bit right now. I was really distraught at myself for doing it. It's a love-hate relationship with my goatee. I love that it grew in, because if you're like me, my beard actually don't connect. It like patches up a little bit there, on both sides, like a gap space here. Like the rest connect, but this big gap space here is not cool at all, But so I'm just gonna let it grow out just a little bit, what I'm saying? I like to have it, I like the look of it or whatever. But I made the decision to cut it off yesterday. You probably seen it in the previous videos that were uploaded before these ones here, but you know what? It's all good. It will grow back. It's actually a good look. I may leave it this short. I'm still debating about it. I may leave it this short here, right? But I digress, right? So today, let's talk about, or I wanted to give you guys some tools to use while writing, whether it's creative writing or poetry, storytelling, whatever. This may possibly relate. I'm quite certain that you can implement these tips or techniques, or to whatever you guys are writing, and whatever style of writing you're doing. But yeah, so I as a writer, there are a few things that I try to get done before I write, while I'm writing, and in the conclusion of me writing. And for the longest, I didn't realize that I actually had a checklist in place of things I was doing. I just thought that I was doing it because this is what I was accustomed to doing. I knew that I had to get things done in a certain order to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. So last night, guys, I was going to do this video last night, but I was like, I'm tired. I didn't feel like doing nothing last night after I edited and uploaded those other 2 videos. I think it was 2. I believe it was 2. If the other video, whatever video was posted yesterday, I was in this mindset, I was just tired or whatever. So when I thought about this, and I was laying down, a lot of you not, and I jumped up and I was like, man, this would be some good content for people who want to write, who may be struggling or just want different tips and techniques to use while they're writing. So I woke up this morning and I was like, let me get this out there. Let me write this stuff down. Let me get it out there. And as I was trying to write down what I do, I was like, I can't think about it. I could not think about it to save my life, guys. A true story. I was drawing a complete blank. If you know writer's block, I was at writer's block. We're trying to get to you guys what I use and what I do in writing. So I started looking some things up, and I reached out to a few writers that I know, and they were like, yeah, we got checklists, we go through things too, And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, send me some things, and we can compare and build this a simple checklist, just simple and easy, so that writers who are into poetry, who are writing poetry, or whatever it may be, can use to help navigate themselves through the process, right? So we came up with a short list. I'm looking down because I have my laptop right here in front of me. So we came up with a short list of questions to ask yourself but before, during, and after you're writing, right? And it's a simple checklist. It has 8 points to the checklist, just 8. I don't want to go into too deep with it. Just keep it simple, because, hey, sometimes less is more. Especially in my opinion, when it comes to creative writing, less is more. When it comes to certain techniques and technicalities and all those things here, because to me, creative writing is something that you create on the fly. There is no true blueprint for creative writing. Yes, they have classes for it, they have workshops for it, and yeah, there may actually be an actual manual for creative writing. But for me, as a writer who moves in the field of poetry, I try not to follow those paths of getting to where I want to get to. I chose to create a lane for myself, and I'm quite certain that I am using some of those techniques that I've learned, in school and things. But if I am using them, I can almost quite certainly guarantee that I've deconstructed and repurposed them in the way that I chose to do them, right? But yeah, so let's jump into the checklist, right? So, poetry writing checklist, right? Poetry writing checklist, right? Question number 1, right? Does the title help advance the poem's story, right? So, is the title going to bring me into the foreground of what I'm about to dive into? Is it giving me a sense of foreplay of what I'm to look forward to as I'm reading this poem, or is it just this broad thing that has nothing to do with this poem, right? A lot of times as writers, we get into this zone. We may be writing and we go on, our minds take over, and then we drift from a topic, right? And that's okay. It's okay to drift from a topic, but if you want your reader to be engaged in that topic, you got to sometimes just reel it in. Sometimes you got to bring it back home. You have to say, look, let me dial back just a little bit. Let me get back to the point of what I'm trying to get across. Henceforth the title. You want that title to captivate them before anything. That's the first thing they're going to read, is that title. So is it captivating them enough to bring them in, to be willing enough to say, okay, I'm gonna sit through this piece here. Let me see what it's about, right? Yeah. So checklist point number 2. Is the first line compelling, right? Is it that wow factor? The first line, I know a lot of times we think that first line is just like a gateway, which it is. But does that gateway allow you to give you that pull? Just like the title, is it pulling you in? Is it piquing my interest? Is that first line giving me that wow, that okay, this is good right here. Let me keep diving into it to see what this is actually about. Title and first line. To me, the reason that, to me specifically, in my opinion, those are the most important pieces to any body of work. If your title throws me off, I'm not going to read it. If the first line is, if the first line doesn't have that pull effect, I may read it with enjoyment or excitement, or I may read it just to get through it. If that first line for me specifically pulls me in to dive deeper into your work, right? So, checklist tip question number 3, tip question, whatever you want to call it, right? This is point number 3 on the checklist. Does the first line reveal what I want the reader to know, and does it ground them in the meaning of the poem? Hint at what's to come, right? Again, we're still in that first line. Is it piquing the reader's interest? Okay, look, this is what I want you to focus on in this poem. This is my key point of this poem. This is what I'm going to bring home by the time that these stanzas are concluded, or this paragraph or this structure, however you choose to format your poem, your poetry. Is that first line going to bring me into that fold? Is it going to open up the door and say, look, this is the picture here. I'm going to paint it as we go along, and that henceforth is inviting you into what's to come next. That first line is the lead way, second line is the lead way, so on and so forth. They will fall into place like that, or whatever it may be, right? So, checklist tip point number 4, right? That wasn't a sound effect. I just did it in my mouth. I should have did it, but I'm not editing it out. It's staying. Yes, checklist point number 4, right? If needed, does the poem include places or emphasis of rest? So, for example, right? Let's take a run-on sentence, right? A run-on sentence has no pause point. There's no break. So the reader, it's just a complete fluid piece, right? There is no space in that sentence to say, okay, let me catch my breath to get my thought to figure out what the rest of this is about to say. Or we don't want those compounded thoughts to jam us up in any way. So just like in poetry, you want it to have space enough to breathe. You don't want it to be just run on body of work, and it has to be done in one breath. It takes away sometimes from the climax of your poem when it's just one solid piece that just flows straight through. Now, some poems can do so, such as haiku poems. You can get them through without that piece of rest because they are more condensed poems. But if you have longer pieces of work, longer poems, you want to have your poetry breathe enough to say, okay, look, I'm gonna let it breathe and exhale. Breathe and exhale, just like your body. You want to have time, whereas you're talking, you take time to breathe in, right? That allows you to say, look, okay, I'm about to receive something else. Let's dive into it again. Again, these are my opinions, and as well as the writers I reached out to. And again, yeah, you want those spaces, and you want them to emphasize that it's a rest. It creates an effect of, it creates that dramatic effect sometimes. Okay, boom, it's like this big word, bow, right? Then you want to take that step back, right? Then you want to jump back into it. It's like a point of attack, I guess, in my terms, in my words, it's a point of attack that you want to say, okay, look, this here is, I may have to display emotion here, and to do so, I have to pull back just a little bit, right? And a lot of times we do that with punctuations. Me specifically, I don't use punctuations in my poetry because I don't like them. I don't like punctuations in my poetry because for me, it throws out just a little bit. So if I'm reciting my poem, I know specifically where those points are. And maybe for other people, they don't know, but I want them to be, for me specifically, guys, I want them to be able to say, look, I want this to flow in the way I want it to. So that way that they can relate to the character or the storylines I'm trying to portray in that specific piece of work, right? So yeah, guys, make sure, but that's a key thing to make sure you have in your poetry, guys. Make sure you have those rest points. Trust me, it will create an effect that is amazing if you do it correctly. In another video, I may go into depth about how to do those effectively. We'll see how the cards fall with that there. But yeah, so create rest points, right? Emphasize those points, right? So point number 5. Do the lines of the poem begin and end with powerful or significant words, right? So an opening phrase draws you in, right? An ending phrase locks you in, right? And again, this is for me as a writer. This is how I implement that specific tip in my work, right? So I can open up something with the word beautiful, right? So beautiful for me can start the sentence off and it can end. I'm going on the fly with this one, guys. All right. So if you don't like it, it's all right. It's understandable. All right. So I'm gonna start. So my work right now, is powerful word for me is beautiful, right? Boom. I'm throwing at you. So you're gonna see now this beautiful. I'm talking about something beautiful, right? And I'll end it with ray of sunshine, right? Right. So the end piece, the middle piece, will correlate the beginning and the ending for me. So whatever I'm describing in this specific line or this specific phrase, right? I want those words to say, you know what, they're going to affect each other. I want them to bounce off each other and just like throw themselves at you sometimes. And that way they can jump off the page. Literally, they can jump off the page at you, and it will, again, pique your interest in that piece of work. So writing tip question on the checklist thing, right? Part I left off on 5, part 6, right? Question number 6. Does the poem contain sensory images, and will the reader be able to taste, touch, hear, and visualize the poem, right? So those are sensory things, taste, touch, hear, and see, right? So for example, a specific piece of the poem could say something along the lines of, okay, um, I'm trapped in the ocean without a drop of water to drink, right? So now you can visualize being in this ocean, but not being able to actually drink that water. Now that's also a piece of irony. It's ironic to be in the ocean but can't drink none of the water, right? That's irony as well. But so are you evoking those emotions? You're writing about food. Can I smell the cooking? You're writing about the warmth of love. Can I feel you wrap your arms around me, or can I feel being embraced with the love? Or you're writing about a house that's 7 stories high and 2,000 acres wide type thing. Can I visualize this house? Are you doing enough for me to say, okay, I can actually picture this house. I can picture this love. I can picture this food, or I can picture this ocean and things of that nature. Those sensory things are key, guys. You want to be able to invoke, or evoke, whatever the word may be. You want to be able to convey those things. You want to be able to, to say, look, boom, visualize this, visualize that, and it draws into the feeling of the body of work, guys. Trust me, it does an amazing thing. You always want to be able to pour your readers in that way, for them to be able to actually be in those spaces in your poem. You want them to not be in the line, but sometimes under the line, and that way it can tap into many things. You might write about love, and it could be about heartbreak, right? And that heartbreak could be something so fierce and intense that it literally creates the emotion in your reader, and will cause them to cry sometimes, or it'd be something so hysterical that they just bust out laughing while they're reading it. You want to tap into those things, guys. It goes a long way as well. These are some key things, guys. I pray that these are something that you can use. And if you want more, I can always add. We can always go through it and add more to these lists. But there are a lot of checklists, guys, you can use to implement in your work, right? So yeah, so we just talked about sensory images. All right, now let's go to question number 7. Does the poem tell much instead of showing? Right? A lot of times we get boggled down with words. I know I do. Sometimes it's a hassle, but it's like a blessing and a curse all in itself, right? Sometimes we want to make sure that that wording is so spot on that it just becomes meticulous in a sense. But am I actually showing you what I'm trying to get across in this work? I can write a 36-page poem. I've done it, but in those 36 pages, what am I doing? Am I just writing to write? Or am I writing to evoke that emotion? Am I writing to show you to show this picture I'm trying to paint? And at the end of the day, that's the bigger picture. Are you getting across what you're trying to paint? The picture you want your readers to see within your poetry. Poetry can tap into those things, especially sight. You want them to see that lovers quarrel. You want them to see that lady crying in the window. So you want them to be able to see the raindrops trickling down that window onto the outside ledge. Again, it brings in those readers. It evokes them to say, you know what, man, this is getting good. I can't wait to see what happens in the end. It allows you to have that thing that pulls the readers into a sense, into a place that says, I'm not going to stop till I actually finish this poem. A lot of times we read things, again, we read them just to read them, and that's okay. But other times we want to read them to get the storyline, and that's what poetry is. It can create that line. That's why I love creative writing. It creates the line of can I put myself in the shoes of this character? You can do that in formal writing as well, but especially creative writing, because it allows you to just use your imagination, and it's an ever ending it's a never ending stream of creativity when it comes to creative writing. No matter how widespan it is or how short it may be, you can put it all in that work. But are you showing your readers what you're trying to convey? Are you painting the bigger picture? Um, And question number 8, the last question on this checklist. Guys, again, I am most likely going to do another checklist for you guys, for you poetry writers or creative writers. For me, poetry is creative writing, right? You got to be creative to put words together. Sometimes it makes lack of no sense, right? Lack of no sense. Yeah, lack of no sense. But sometimes it's just, you just got to use your imagination in your work. You can turn a short story into a poem easily. You can storytell in spoken word, and it's an amazing thing. We're gonna tap into all those things in a later video, guys, right? But question number 8: does the poem contain clinch words or phrases? I have to confess, up until I wrote the first book, the book I just finished writing, I did not understand what a clinch word or phrase was until I started researching, and I reached out to a writer I know who is pretty mainstream now. And he said to me, the clinch word is basically something that's going to grab you by your chest, right? It's going to hit you. And I was like, that don't make sense. I said, all the words and phrases, similes, metaphors, they should hit you. The irony should hit you. He said, no. He said, not in the way that a clinch word actually will. And it's just sometimes just that one word. Whether it's the exclamatory word, or sometimes it's that bold-faced curse word you may throw in there, and sometimes you throw them out, and it's okay. It's your work. You have creative control of how you do your work, and those phrases really do help impact the reader's perception of what you're trying to convey. Again, that goes back to: are you showing are you showing, or are you just telling? It helps to paint that picture. Those words and phrases help create that picture. I may do a video specifically on clinch words, or I may not. Actually, I'm not going to do one on those. I'm not going to say I'm not. We don't know what the future may hold, but it's a possibility that I may break each one of these down in a separate video, and that could be like a series or something I may do. Just short, maybe 3 to 5 minute videos or something like that. I think I may write that down. I'm writing in my mental. I may dive back into that. Yeah, I may dive into that. I may do so. But yeah, guys, so this was the 8 tips or 8 questions you can ask yourself while you're writing poetry. There are a lot of other questions to ask yourself as well. Don't get me wrong. You can ask yourself 1,000,002 questions and still may not have all the answers you need while writing. But a good start are these 8 questions specifically here, guys. This helps you get from start to finish, especially as a beginner writer. You don't want to bog yourself down with too much technicality in poetry or in writing in general, because it can turn you off. Trust me, I know it can turn you off. But yeah, guys. So this video is entitled Poetry Writing Checklist, and I pray you guys got something out of this here. And with that being said, guys, if you want to go into depth about this here, guys, drop a comment down below, and we can address it in another video, or we can have a sidebar individually if you want to do so. But yeah, guys, but before I conclude this video, I want to make an announcement. I've been brainstorming something, and I don't know how I want to do it or how it's going to get done, but I think that I really want to do it. I've been brainstorming this idea for quite some time. So I have an idea of a virtual creative writing workshop for poetry writers, specifically for poetry writers. I don't know how I'm going to do it or how it's going to manifest itself. I don't know if I want to do it on YouTube or whatever like that. where I may do like a live video where you guys can interact with it or so, or if I want to do, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know specifically. So I also don't know if I just wanted to just say specifically a virtual workshop. I know right now with the quarantine going on, God willing that this mess is over by the end of this month, because I can't do it no more. I'm not gonna lie, I can't do it no more. But God willing that it's over. But I don't know if I want to do, like I said, just stay virtual or go out and have an actual in-house workshop where we go out somewhere and rent some space, or, you know what I'm saying, like that, and, you know, and just write or whatever. Or maybe go like to a restaurant or something like that, just get like the little party room section and just have, you know, just bounce ideas off each other, whatever. But I want to get that done in the near future. I know before this year is over with, I want to get that done. I want to get a writing workshop done. I want to sit with some people too. We're going to discuss it. Some members of my team that I know would love to do this. Because I don't want this to stop at just poetry writing. I want this to go more in depth. I may want like a songwriting workshop, a novel writing workshop, or, you know, just writing workshops in general, you know, that can help you master your craft or help you hone into something that helps better you and what you're doing or whatever, right? But yeah, I think I want to get that done, guys. If you want to see that happen, again, comment down below, hashtag writing workshop or whatever, or just whatever you want to comment down below in regards to the writing workshop. Or reach out to me in the description below will be my Instagram information. You can hit me there. My email will be down there. You can also reach me there, or you can just comment here on the video, here, right? I'm recording, so but it's, yeah, comment down there or whatever, and just let me know your ideas, your thoughts on like what can we do, how can we come together and bring people in to do it. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a good pressing point for what I want to do with that. There was another announcement that I wanted to make. It's really evading my mind right now. I'm hot as ever. Just know, guys. You see, I had to switch up the hats on y'all today, right? I had to break the visor out today. You don't know. I love hats, right? This ain't got nothing to do with poetry, right? But I love hats. I don't know why I love hats, but I do. I think I want some more visors though. I think I'm going to invest in some more visors. I got enough beanies for the winter time. I wear beanies even in the springtime. I just, you know, just let them flop a little bit. But I want some more visors, guys, for the summer. But yeah, writing workshops are coming. They are definitely coming, guys. But again, guys, thank you for tuning in to this installment of Poetry Writing, the checklist edition. Guys, again, if you are new to the channel, guys, please hit that subscribe button, guys. If you want to be notified, hit that notification bell. It's right next to the subscribe button. I'm doing this like I'm going to edit that into the video with a little pop-up thing. I'm most likely not. I haven't gotten that far in my editing yet, guys, but it's coming. It's coming along. I'm learning slowly but surely. I'm trying to master, you know, piece by piece, but it's coming along. But when I do, I'm gonna go like this, go bing or something. It's gonna pop up. But yeah, guys. So like, comment, share, and subscribe, guys. Guys, thank you again for supporting me with this endeavor, this journey here, guys. And I can guarantee you that it will be some awesome information that will be continually coming. There might be more than 2 videos a week, with the quarantine going on. I want to get as much content out as I can because there's so much going on in my head of what I have to get done, even outside of YouTube. Well, yeah, guys, there is definitely a lot to come with the Life in Poetry family and team. I want it to continue to grow and to flourish, to do what its purpose is, what it was called for. You know, everything that I touch as a calling. I can't move without that. I can't move without, you know, God at my side, and I know that He has His hand on this here, and it will flourish in the way it's supposed to, when it's supposed to. But yeah, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe to this video, guys. If you want more of these type videos, guys, comment down below. But guys, yeah, that's it. I'm just rapping right now just to talk, right? But I'm not gonna hold y'all for too long. See, once you've done all that, guys, remember though, guys, let's stay in the house too, guys. We got to end this quarantine mess. We got to. All right, people, stay in the house. All right, stay in the house. Practice social distancing. Whatever you got to do, guys. So let's end this quarantine thing expediently, or, you know, or expeditiously, whatever you want to call it. Let's just get it over here. Let's get over with. But yeah, guys. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in with your boy, your host, Marcus T. This guy. Until next time, guys. Be blessed. Peace.